Man has today surrendered. The last of our enemies is laid low. Peace has once again come to the world. Let us thank God for this great deliverance and his mercies. Long live the King.
August 15th marks the 75th anniversary of Victory in the Pacific Day, which is VP Day. Also, it recognises it's the end of World War II. What has remained relatively unknown during the past 75 years is the crucial role the site of this radio receiving station at Birkdale played in the news that the war was over. In fact, the former top-secret US military base was the site of the radio headquarters for all incoming communications in the fight against the Japanese Imperial Army. Graham Hinson is here with us today from the Redlands RSL sub-branch. Graham, what does this site mean in terms of spreading the news that the war was over?
This was the first site in Australia that received the message the war was over, and when it received here on radio, it was relayed to General MacArthur, who sent it on to his various Brisbane war officers.
And Council Bishop, I understand that you've been researching this history and have found some really interesting stories about how the news travelled from the base right to the Wellington Point Hotel.
Absolutely, Madam Mayor. There was an extraordinary day when two young boys were on this facility. They used to exchange chewing gum and comics with some of the American soldiers, which was pretty exciting. They had a pony and a push bike, and one of the soldiers came outside, grabbed that pony and rode it through this whole area, knocking into wardrobes, and they were so excited because the news had just come through that the war was over. Those two boys then ran up to Mr. Cotton, who'd heard the noise, thought someone might have been electrocuted, and then they all got into his English Standard car. They drove down the road, up Birkdale Road, up to the Wellington Point Hotel, and the reason they went there to celebrate is because that pub had 4X, and this one over at Capalaba had Foster's, and he only wanted to go up there. So that's where the first celebrations would have happened on that day.
One of the great stories we have about this particular site here at Birkdale. Graham, what does this site mean to the broader Redlands Coast community?
I have lived in this area for 43 years now, and myself, I didn't realise that in World War II, this was the US Army radio receiving site for World War II on the cotton farm here. And this is the first site where the message was passed that the war had ended. We at the Redlands RSL are very sub-branch, are very community-minded, and believe this site should be preserved for history of the Redlands Coast area, and we are very glad to see it as now heritage listed for future generations.
These are all really fascinating stories and are directly linked to the buildings on this site, which Council purchased from the federal government in December 2019. Council has worked very hard over several years to make sure we could purchase this land for the Redlands Coast community, and of course manage all the various state and local heritage values on this site. So I speak for all of us. I know we all look forward to sharing more stories about this unique property within the Redlands Coast and with the community as this journey continues.